in that moment, it was like I had this fear come over me of like, I can't keep going down this path because I know me. I'm the type of person, whatever I put my mind to, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hustle until I figure out what's next. We all have a thing within us that we're born with at our core. It's a part of our signature.
Sure.
And it never goes away.
And I have so much compassion for it because I know how that feels to then step into this new identity or to claim this new version of yourself. Welcome back to I Am with Jenna Phillips Ballard. This is the place and the space where we have conversations that most people wouldn't have, and we talk about the realest of the real. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to my guest for today. She's one of my best friends. She's a master embodiment coach. Her name is Alexi Panos. And she is, I'm going to have to put her bio in the notes because it is so long and amazing. This woman has created so much and overcome so much. And she's the kind of person who will climb any mountain, swim across any gigantic, massive canal if needed. Whatever needs to happen in order to get it done, she does it. But most importantly, she's in this beautiful transition where she's starting to realize that there's so much more than the doing. And we're going to unpack that today because we are so similar in so many ways, and I'm just really, really excited to share her with you guys. So welcome, Alexi. So happy that you're here.
I love that I'm here. I love that this podcast is happening.
I
so
know.
Excited for you.
Thank you. Finally. It's so long overdue.
Yeah.
I think that my very first podcast episode that I was ever a guest on was your podcast.
Transformation Nation.
I will never forget it. I will never forget. I was in my car parked in Santa Monica with my little headset on, and I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like 12 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's forever ago.
Wow. That was
crazy.
So good. And we got to hear all about your story and your head trauma and how that like opened up a whole new world for you.
Yeah.
So wild.
So thank you. Thank you for seeing me, for always inviting me on your wild adventures. I mean, we've done so much cool stuff together. Think about it. We've been to Tanzania together.
Yep.
I actually would love for you to speak about that too, the nonprofit organization that you started and the impact that's made. But of course, we're going to dive in mostly into what you're creating now. And I really, really want to unpack the seasons of your life that have brought you to where you are today.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about my favorite thing about you, that you were a superstar musician once upon a time. You've lived a thousand lives. I know, you've lived 1,000 lives. It's so amazing. It's my favorite thing to share with people who don't know it yet. I'm like, pull up YouTube and go to this video right now.
Let me show you.
Yeah. So please start with that, and then we're gonna we're gonna move forward.
Well, yeah. So when I was young, I am the daughter of two very fiery people, for lack of better words, entrepreneurs. My mom was a talent agent for a very long time. So I grew up in the entertainment industry, surrounded by that and business. And from a very young age, I was doing commercials and all sorts of things that my mom would just like throw me into. And then at 15, I basically entered a dare. From a dare, I entered a singing contest and got a record contract with a major producer. And I got a development deal at 15. And I never wanted to be a singer, but I love to dance and I love to perform. And I was like, cool, this sounds like fun. Like, let's do it. And that led me on a whole journey, basically 15 to 22, where I was traveling the world with some of the biggest artists at the time. I was working on my album. I got to see behind the velvet curtain.
I'm sure. And that was very, I know that was very, yeah. And I know that was very revealing for you and what ultimately supported you in being like, I'm done with this. But
100%.
Okay, let's talk about who you were touring with and the video. Guys, you need to Google this. It is so good. I love it.
So good. So I was signed under MI2, which was Murder Inc.'s label. I was touring with Ja Rule and Ashanti, and I worked with Rodney Jerkins. Like, I was in the mix, and I was on tour. I traveled to Asia. I went all over the US and Canada. I went to Africa. I went all over Europe. I mean, this was like the dream for a teenager, right?
Mm-hmm,
and I was essentially living the dream. I was going to all the best award shows and doing the red carpet stuff. And I very quickly learned that the smoke and mirrors is a real thing.
Yep.
And I think I also very quickly learned that I could see people who had everything, like literally had everything. They had all the money. And I met some of the world's wealthiest people during this time that became friends of mine. And I'm on their yachts and I'm, meeting all these people, that top 5 wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah.
And I could feel the ache inside of them still of like, that's still not enough. Like there's still something in them that doesn't feel satiated. And so if that's not it, because I thought at the time, like, that's it. Money's the thing. Money's the thing that makes you happy.
But that's a big part of our culture.
Yes.
And also
100%.
what I believe is driven in and programmed in the music industry is that having as much money as possible and all the cars and the houses and the yachts and the girls and the whatever, that basically equates to success
And happiness.
and happiness. Exactly.
And I got to see very quickly that it was the dangling carrot that kept moving. And the struggle that a lot of people who did have it all, but yet didn't have that sense of satisfaction, the struggle that they had with that and how that led them down the path of drugs and cheating and all sorts of things, that it's just like, man, I don't want this to be my life. And I remember I had a moment, I was in South Africa on tour. It was kind of like the final leg of our tour. And I'm on the tour bus and I'm journaling in my like little bunk with the curtain. And I'm just like, this is not my life. Like, this is not my life. And in that moment, it was like I had this fear come over me of like, I can't keep going down this path because I know me. I'm the type of person, whatever I put my mind to, I'm going to do it. And if I keep going down this path, like, this is going to be my life. And so because I didn't know how to have hard conversations at 21, I essentially hit the eject button.
You're like, bye, see you later, or not.
I'm to get out of this. And that was at the time when like the whole 50 Cent Ja Rule thing was happening.
Yeah.
I was seeing people get stabbed in front of me. Like, there was a shooting at a nightclub and I was there and we were being escorted out and there were tear gas in Miami. And I'm like,
insane.
This is not my life.
Yeah, you're like, I was not destined for this.
This is not my life.
Not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Whose life is this? And I literally had to hit the eject button. And I was in New York City at the time living. And I'm like, okay, I have this apartment that I got on this like idea that I'm going to be this music star. Like, I've got to be able to afford my life. So I got a bartending job, a waitressing job. I went back into modeling. It was just like, I'm going to hustle until I figure out what's next. And that's where I created my nonprofit organization because I was like, I want to find meaning.
Yeah.
I need meaning in my life because that's what all these people who had everything were searching for meaning. So it's like, maybe I'll start there. And so I went the nonprofit route. And at 20, started EPIC, which stands for Everyday People Initiating Change, with Tennille, one of my best friends. And that led me down this whole path of going back to Africa, figuring out how to get involved in sustainable development at the community level. And so, as you know, because you've been out there with us, like, we work directly with the people in the villages. We bring clean water. We do education for children. We revamp their schools. We build farms. I mean, we do all this stuff so that a community can really thrive. And especially women and young girls have an opportunity to really maximize their potential in the world. So that was like such a beautiful thing. And at some point I was like, I still feel like there's more, right? And so I'm now like 6 years into running EPIC. I'm still hustling. I'm doing television now. I'm on TV doing, home improvement shows and all sorts of stuff on TV, having a successful life. But again, this call for more. And then I was always into personal development. Went to my first Tony Robbins seminar at 15. I graduated all of Landmark curriculum by 21, like, always been into it. And I realized, like, I think I want to do something in this work, but I didn't know what. Because this was a long time ago. This was like when people weren't talking about life coaches, but Tony Robbins.
Now you cannot hit a life coach. You cannot throw a rock and not hit a life coach. Like,
Facts.
It's like they're everywhere.
Everyone's a life coach.
Yeah, right.
But when I was a life coach, people were like, wait, you're a coach? Like a basketball coach?
What is that?
Tall. Yeah. They're like, oh, you're a coach. You're a basketball coach. Volleyball coach? I'm like, no, a life coach. What is that?
Yeah.
Like, what is that actually? And so at the time, I was still trying to figure out, like, how do I play in a very male-dominated space? It's like one of the only females in the space at the time. And so I was giving a lot of talks. I was working in corporate structures, doing vulnerability work. I was working with young women who had sexual trauma. And I was kind of like trying all these different things. And it's like, okay, I like this, but I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this. I wrote a book. I got published. Then it's like boom, 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 boom. Things started happening. And then I've been on that train really for the last 15 years. And I love it.
And then we met about, I want to say probably like 12, 13 years ago.
Yes.
And we were both all about personal development and transformation and all of that. And I just track it all back to how we kind of, we like raised each other together next to each other. Like, just we're on Team Humanity, just standing for people to transform. And there's just so much similarities because I look back at what you and Preston have been building for as long as you've been building it, and like what Brad and I have been building. And it's really cool to see that. And then also the place that we are both right now.
Totally.
This massive transformation. It's like we're literally living our work. Like what we've been standing for other people to choose for themselves. Like we're living it now. So what I know to be true about you is, man, you can, there's nothing you cannot overcome. I mean, you've accomplished so much in your life. You have a massive wealth portfolio. You've got real estate. You've got all these investments, and you have 4 amazing babies, one of which is my goddaughter, by the way. Right. And I just look at what you've been able to overcome, and the example that you're able to be for so many people, and how many lives you transformed, and you've done it all over the world. You've spoken on all these stages, and you could on paper say, man, like I'm everything's good, right? And most people would continue to just do that. Yeah. But there's been a moment, or many moments, that you're like, wait, and it's not to make any of that wrong. It's like, there's like this attachment, right? Because there's a whole identity. Yeah. What was the identity that you were clinging on to? Because it's tough to let go of that, because, and I have so much compassion for it, because I know how that feels to then step into this new identity, or to claim this new version of yourself. Like, what is the identity that you were really allowing yourself to let go of, so that you could create space for your new I am?
Such a good question. I think at the core of it, like, there's the obvious of I am an embodiment trainer, I am a coach, I am an author, like there's that. But I think underneath all that, there's this identity of like, I am a workhorse, like I will outwork anybody.
Yep. Same.
And that identity, like if I think about even the through line when I was in my music career, my television career, I had a production company at one point. Like I was just like, I will out hustle, I will outwork, I will work you under the table, I will sleep when I'm dead. Like I used to say that stuff.
Totally.
And that was such a core part of who I was, because I came from like the Greek side of me is this immigrant mentality of like
your work ethic.
I was in my family's restaurant at 8 years old, working in the kitchen. I've been working my whole life.
Sure.
Yeah. And so for me, that's the identity that has been the hardest to break, is I have to do it. It's up to me. Yeah. Has to be me. And what I'm realizing is I'm shifting really through my spiritual practice. And the more embodied I get, like the more in my body I get, the more my identity is I am listening. I am listening. I'm available. Like I'm listening. I'm available. What's here? What now? And it's more fluid. It's more flexible. And I think that's where I've been kind of sitting in between this thing of like, oh, what if I didn't have to do it all? Like I've built this amazing wealth portfolio. I've built this amazing business. I've been training people under me for years. Sure. But why do I still feel like it has to be me that holds it?
Like at the end of the day, it depends on you. And if you step away, it's all going to fall apart. There's that fear.
Of course, it's like the nervous system programming that, and like the control underneath it, and like the fundamental fear and safety that comes along with, can I trust this to be okay if I let it go? And that's been probably the deepest work I've had to do in this transition. But as I lean more into the I am listening, I am available, what's coming through is like, Lex, through everything that you've done and through everyone that you've been in all these different stages, like you've always been about creating, like moving this idea, this vision, this concept into real life. And that has been the through line of everything I've done. I have this idea. I have this vision. Okay, I can see it, I can crystallize it, I can architect it in my mind. How do I bring this into real life so other people can experience it? And that's the piece that I think I've kind of pushed aside for so long, even though it's always been there. I haven't made that the star. I've made that the like access point to build
like your side chick.
Yeah,
it's my hobby. Yeah.
Like you're great, yes, but you get to be over there. Yeah. Because to me, it was always the hard work. But I'm really getting like, I am the visionary, and the visionary can't get stuck in the weeds. And I've been stuck in the weeds, in beautiful weeds. I love my garden, but I've been stuck in the weeds my entire life, doing the hard work because my identity needed that to feel safe.
And you also saw your mom. I mean, obviously, as much as we may or may not want to become our moms, we ultimately become our moms in a lot of ways. And It's witnessing your mother, how she showed up in her unhealed feminine, her unhealed masculine, whatever. And then we can't not embody that in some capacity.
100%.
And so it takes such high level awareness to be able to recognize that we don't want to continue that. And
Totally.
and like it is actually safe to be in our feminine. And now what I'm seeing for you is this reclamation of your artist, and to fully lean into that. And as you're transforming and transitioning with all of this, with this identity, when you've told me about the piece that you're wanting to bring to life, I mean, full body chills. It is such an extraordinary concept, and I cannot wait to see it in real life, because I already see it. I mean, the way that you've described it to me is so sensational and so powerful, world changing. I mean, it's literally going to change the world. Yeah. So it's beautiful, because again, like, you've created so much. You've already expressed your art in so many different ways. I mean, there's anything that you put your hands on, it's art. I mean, that's just always been my experience of you. Yeah. However, now you're focusing on art as like the number one, and then the ripple effect is for you. Yeah. Yes, you're a world changer, and that's kind of been your main driving force. Like, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to impact people. I'm going to transform them. Yeah. And also, let me put some art on it. Yeah. But now you're like, art is what I'm doing, is what I'm creating, and it's probably going to change some lives too.
Well, and again, it's this identity of I am listening, and I've been trying to avoid this knowing for years. I mean, this piece, the initial first piece of this whole exhibit I want to do, started about 8 years ago, and in my mind, it was this idea for a Burning Man piece. Like, okay, this is going to be something that I like gift to Burning Man. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot of artists that come and they gift something, and then it goes away, and it's like this beautiful practice of impermanence.
Which, by the way, I want to say that my first Burning Man experience was with you. Brad and I went with Alexi and Preston. Guys, this was such a portal for me and Brad. I will never forget this for the rest of my life. Back in 2016 was our first time going to Burning Man. So wild. And so transformational, you know? And Preston literally said to us, he's like, guys, it's the trainings, it's transformation, but in a festival. And so it's so transformational, because you get up against your edges and you see the full expression of people living in pure freedom and co-creative energy, and everybody is unified and everybody is in pure love. It's incredible. So if you haven't been, you must go.
You have to go. And Burning Man for me was one of the places where I could really start to see like all the places I wasn't free yet. Like all the places I was still judging myself, judging others, or feeling constricted or closed. And so Burning Man has always been such an invitation to open, right? And I know we all feel that. But yeah, the piece started as this idea of, okay, I'm going to offer this to the burn as a gift. And then it just like, no, it's not time. Then I had Kingston, my first, and then I got pregnant with twins, and then COVID happened, and it was like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, now I've got 4 kids under 4. Like, definitely not happening now.
Can we please talk about your kids for a second? Let's just pause, okay? I remember were you pregnant with Kingston at one of the, or you were?
I was okay, pregnant. So I've been pregnant at 3 burns.
I literally have. You're incredible. She's also very fertile, by the way, because I remember when you got pregnant with your twins, and I mean, Kingston was how old when they were born?
He was not even 2 yet, so I mean, still in diapers and like,
man, and I believe that the kids come through at the most potent times, and I know that all your children have arrived in the most perfect, most potent times for you and Preston. Because it was like making sure that you guys, no matter what was happening in your relationship, y'all are together, like you guys are staying together, and it just supported you in doubling down on doing the work.
But it also like brought up a lot of stuff.
Of course, yeah.
You know, especially like the twins was really the first like storm. And we didn't know it was 2 at first.
First of all, going from 1 to 3,
I was like, I remember like a tear dropped from my eye when I found out it was 2. I was like, okay, this is good. This is a good thing. I was like, how are we going to do this? Oh my God.
But you figure it out, right? It's like, and your container you can't not expand. It's like you have to. Wow. So, and then can we please talk about how Preston was going to get a vasectomy and then he didn't? And then
so it's a good story.
I've not forgotten about your amazing creation, and we're going to get back to that. But we have to talk about this. This has to be discussed.
We have twins. We have a boy and a girl, twins, and then we have Kingston. So we have 2 boys and 1 girl. We're like, we nailed it. We are complete. Yeah. Closing shop. And so this is now post-COVID. We moved to Texas. The twins are 9 months old. We're like, all right, Preston, it's time for you to
Snip, snip.
snip, snip, handle some business so you don't have to, we're done closing shop. So he's like, okay, he gets his appointment. The nurse calls him like 2 hours later. I was like, hey, I see that we have your appointment coming up next weekend. Just FYI, I see you also have 3 young kids. You're not supposed to pick up anything over 10 pounds. Do you guys have help? Because I know your wife's still breastfeeding. Like, do you guys have help? And at that point, our help was out of town. So Preston's like, okay, let's push it out a week. And then I'll do it that week because our help will be back and blah, blah, blah. In that week, we conceived our youngest, Cash, which of course, it's so his personality too. He's like, oh, you're closing, I'm coming in.
Exactly.
I'm coming in.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you're closing down shop? I'm coming in. And like against all odds, right? I wasn't in my ovulation window. Like I just completed my period. Like it was just like all the things where it's like, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
and it happened.
And it happened.
And it was so beautiful and perfect and all the things. And he brought with him, like every baby does, in our opinion, is like this world of work.
Yeah.
To 100%. Open you, to expand you, to deepen you, to like pull out anything.
He's a challenger for sure. He is. God bless him. No, and I will never forget. We actually had a girls' dinner or a birthday dinner or something. And you're like, yep, there's a possibility that I might be pregnant. And I was like, oh, she's definitely pregnant.
Yes.
And then a few days later, you're like, yeah, officially pregnant.
It was that fix.
Yes, you're right. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So, I mean, just incredible what kids create for us. I mean, I love being a mom. It's, as you know, the hardest thing in the whole world, but the most beautiful thing as well. The full spectrum of what it means to be human and just like such an initiation.
100%. And that's a big piece of like, as I'm watching my kids, because they're in like such a pivotal age right now. My oldest is 7, my youngest is 4. And I'm just watching them really be themselves, right? Like they're kind of pre-domestication, right? They're still free. And I'm just noticing like these like little things about each and every one of them that I'm like, oh, that's so you. Oh, that's so you. And you're so different. And I have 4. So I really get to see the
so different. Yeah.
Of how different they are. And it's making me really realize like we all have a thing within us that we're born with at our core. That is it's a part of our signature.
Sure.
And it never goes away. Even if it gets domesticated out of you, it's still there.
Yep.
Right. It's still in this like little cavern or corner in the body. And I'm like, if I can nurture this within each of them, like we win, right? We win the game because that's who they essentially are. It's their nature.
Sure.
Right. And so my nature at my core.
I was going to ask you, what do you think yours is?
Is this creator. I have always, since I was a kid, and I can see like pieces of it in my kids. I'm like, since a kid, I was always like, hey, I have this idea. Let's do this. And I would bring it to life. And it's really had me go like, how did I get sucked into this vortex of, you got to build, 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 build. Like I became the architect and not the one, like I became the contractor, not the architect.
And what do you think if your parents had the awareness around your core essence? If they'd had the awareness and the knowingness to foster that and to steward that, what do you think your life would have looked like?
I don't know, because I kind of believe I believe everything's perfect.
Absolutely.
Right. And like, I think I had to get to this point to actually really get it the way I'm getting it now. And I think I actually have the emotional maturity to hold the concept that's coming through. Because where I'm going with this whole idea and this vision for this gallery exhibition, it's going to push a lot of buttons. It's political, it's religious, we're dealing with women's issues, it's intense, it's visceral.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that specifically, all of the life lessons, because you did not maybe necessarily have those parts of you be stewarded and guided, it's like you now have the wisdom to support other women in realizing that it's okay to take off the armor. It's okay to put the sword down. Like there's no battle to fight.
That's a huge underpinning of the work in this art exhibit, which is it's multimedia. So it's part film, it's part sculpture, it's part painting. I mean, it's all these different pieces. It's experiential. There's going to be rooms that you walk into where the whole thing's a visceral experience. And so I had to like live these different moments for me to really have the piece be visceral to me and for it to mean something to me, because each of these pieces, it's meant for the person to walk through and to identify with that thread in their own life. So I look at motherhood. I look at invisible load. I look at religion and how it's pulled us from our aliveness and radiance as women. I look at politics. I look at misogyny. Like, it is intense. I look at objectification from the male gaze and also from our internalized gaze. Like, it's going to push a lot of buttons. And I don't think I would have had the capacity to hold the conversations that are going to come from this until this point.
Absolutely.
Like, I had to have lived through what I've lived through to be like, okay, I can have these conversations. They're going to be hard.
Yeah, and because think about just even in the trainings that you do, and when students get backed up and they're not perceiving your intentions as pure, and they have a whole interpretation that's not in alignment, and then how you get to hold for that and support them in creating more powerful interpretation. That, I mean, you could literally be doing God's work, but there's always going to be some nut job who thinks that you're doing the devil's 100%. Work, and there are going to be people who are going to get their triggers are going to get activated, and you already know how to hold for that and how to guide people through that and to meet them in that place. And it's like you've been preparing your whole life for this. And it's I can't see it happening any other way. It's like, of course, you got to have the model that you had and the models that you had with your parents. Of course, you got to be thrown into the mix of the music industry and realizing like, oh my God, this is definitely not it. And how you can tie that into your art and your exhibition and how it's all one huge massive piece. There's no separation because the human suffering exists in all of these.
And that's what I love about art as a medium of transformation, is that it's so relative to the experiencer, right? Like, you could walk into one piece and it hits you in a particular way based on your traumas, your nervous system, your programming, your ideas, your story, your perception, your paradigm about the world. Then another person walks in and it hits them totally differently. But it's going to hit you regardless, because we're looking at these universal experiences that women are up against. And it's so interesting because, like, talking about the I am listening identity, within the last 4 to 5 years, my work, I've always done like embodiment work, somatic trauma, nervous system, all that. But in the last few years, through my own feminine awakening, I really started focusing on women. I'm like, I really want to work with women, especially moms, women in relationship, finding themselves again, finding their spark again, finding their muse, awakening their muse. And it's so funny because the muse came through, the muse in particular, that word came through so strong that I'm like, at the time, I was like, I don't want to build another business. And I remember literally saying this to my partner at the time, Emily, and we were going through this whole awakening within ourselves. I'm like, it's like the muse is here going, no, babe, listen, this is what's next. And I'm like, I don't have space. Like, I remember we were sitting at Soho House in Austin. I'm like, I don't have space.
You're like, I have 17 businesses already. I don't need to launch another
one. I'm so done with more.
Yeah,
I just want less. I want more potency.
But it's almost like that had to happen the way that it did to nudge you. It's like you're just following the breadcrumbs. And it was breadcrumbs. And the whispering from Spirit Source God was like, okay, the muse. And you're like, what does that mean? Oh, it must mean this. But I don't want to do that, because there was your higher self also communicating to you that this is actually not it, but you still need to do this first. Because then you're like, exactly.
And I was like, okay. And Em and I were like, we'll do like our first iteration of it.
Which I was a part of.
Yeah. Which was
so
like,
awesome.
I think it was 8 weeks. And we're like, let's just try it. And then we loved it. We did more. And then 4 years in, like, now we've got teacher trainers out there. We've taught this whole curriculum to, and they're out there doing the work. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, it's done. I did what I was supposed to do with this work. I created a whole work of feminine embodiment. It's called dynamic embodiment. And now other people are out there in the world teaching it. Yes. Okay, complete. And I'm like, okay, now the muse is like, and now this. But I needed that time, that window of 4 to 5 years, to work with thousands of women. To actually really understand fundamentally what's the thread that connects us all. What are the things that we're up against on an existential level? What are the pieces that we're so afraid to talk about, but it takes up so much energetic bandwidth in our bodies? That's what the art's about. And so that's why when I had the idea for it to be a Burning Man gift, it wasn't time yet, but I let that seed live there and I let it grow slowly. And I kept coming back to it. Every year on my birthday, I kind of have like a list of ideas and things that are in my space. And I'm like, how do I feel about this year? And it was like, not yet. And then this particular year, on my birthday in September, I told Preston, I was like, he's like, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm like, I just want to go somewhere by myself in a hotel and sit and just be with this idea, this first idea, portal to God. And I'm like, I just want to sit with it and see what happens. And I get to the hotel. I open up my balcony windows. I'm right at the beach overlooking the cliffs with the seals. And it's like this beautiful, like cool California breeze. And I'm sitting there with my coffee and my journal. And I sit and I said, what does Portal to God want to be? And within 2 hours, I had downloaded 16 other pieces.
Incredible.
And like I'm drawing pictures and it was so clear. I was like, it's not one piece. It's an exhibit. And that's the first start of the piece. And then it opens, and I'm like, it's the heroine's journey. And I'm like, oh my God, it's all clicking. And I needed that space for it to germinate so that there was room for the whole idea to come together. Like
I love it.
Was like being birthed underneath the soil and I couldn't see it. But when I finally gave myself the space to get out of the noise of my day-to-day life, I could see it so clear. And so now it's like, okay, 2026 for me is all about creating that space to actually make this happen and bring it to life, which we were talking about before we recorded. It's like, of course, I'm going to pick something super hard that I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm like, I'm going to figure it out.
And my Virgo rising sees your Virgo. Yeah, I so appreciate that about you. It's so extraordinary what you're stepping into. And I just really want to circle back in a couple pieces because this vision first it sprouted years ago. And it's interesting because, of course, we're so used to go, do it, just hustle, make it happen, bring it to life now. But the season of this has been such a slow, nurturing gestation process. The seed was planted. It's doing the things that you can't really see underneath the surface in the soil. The roots are getting way down low and out every direction. And then little sprout above the surface. And you're like, oh, what's that? I'm just going to pour some water on that. And then it's just been a very slow, gradual process. And the gestation of this speaks volumes to what you're creating. The portal, the womb, the growing of that. Like you're giving birth to this beautiful new exhibition, this garden, this display, this expression of what life is actually all about. And
I would say like the last 8 years since that idea first took shape was like the first trimester. It's like a lot is happening, but you can't tell. It's like, I know I'm pregnant, but nobody in the world can tell I'm pregnant. Like I don't have my baby bump yet.
Yeah.
But like stuff is happening. I'm making eyelashes. I'm doing all the things, right? Like I'm building something, but it doesn't look arduous yet.
Yeah.
And I think now I'm finally at that third trimester where I'm like, oh, we're getting close to actually birthing this into the world. And now I'm going to start to prep for the contractions of that, right? Like the birthing experience in and of itself is such a beautiful metaphor for life. We think it's going to be all rainbows and sunshine, but the contractions, not true. Yes, totally false. The contractions are what actually like had that feeling of like, oh, we've earned this. Like we've built the body through the process to hold this thing.
And also as you know, there's a part of us that always dies in every birthing process, every experience. And you never know what part of you that's going to be, which is the crazy thing. I mean, obviously for those of you who don't have kids yet, you'll see that, you'll experience that. You can't prepare for it. You cannot read too many books to prepare for that. Like there's not a book that you can read. There's not a podcast you can listen to. You'll never know.
You will never know because it hits every woman different.
That's right.
Based on where we placed our value, based on where our identity was really hooked into, based on where our nervous system is at the time and how safe we feel to actually open and trust and surrender into motherhood. Like there's a whole lot of stuff going on.
So I can't wait to see what that birthing process is going to look like for you. And I know I'm so thrilled for you and just happy for you because I know it's like when I'm talking about this with you, there's like a literal sparkle in your eye. You seem so alive and so excited. And we're such reflections of each other because I'm also in that experience too with my music and finally launching a podcast. And it's like you and I both have all the reasons in the world why to not do it.
We're very busy.
However, the one main reason why we're choosing to take action on this is because we both know that if we get to the end of our life and we look back and we never did the thing, there's going to be so much regret. And I really just, my intention with going all in on this aspect of my life as an artist, claiming it, expressing it, launching the I Am brand and all the products and the necklaces and the hats and all the things. And I just want to create. I want to be in full creation expression. And for you with the art exhibition that you're creating, it's like, I hope that And I believe that both of our intention is, of course, it's for us first.
Yeah.
But we want to give people permission to go all in on that thing, whatever that is for them. Because it's like, imagine if everyone is in full creation expression, that freedom, what kind of a world we would live in.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? As you were saying that, I'm like, you had your I Am brand when we met.
Yeah, I did. But I shelved it.
That's right.
Because I heard that will.i.am was suing Pharrell Williams for using I am other, something like that. And it felt too important to me. And so I shelved it. And you remember back in the day when I first launched it was like bright pop colors and neon.
I still have the hat.
I love that. So I mean, the OG hats, I mean, I shipped them all over the world. Yeah. I've sold thousands of hats.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the thing. And then it was like, will.i.am is, and I'm like, never mind. And so I was just joking. I was doing yoga mats. I had all these prototypes and I was just so scared that it was going to, that I was going to get sued. And I was like, I don't have the bandwidth to fight will.i.am. Are you kidding me?
Right.
But this logo has been trademarked for, a decade plus.
Right.
So it also is back to everything happened the way that it was supposed to. Yeah. All the trauma that I've overcome, the betrayal, the heartache, the heartbreak, the black mold. I mean, all the stuff is now I've been able to share that in my book, I Am Her Now, that's coming out soon. Yeah. And it's now the brand is elegant and elevated and black and gold and
it's
just super.
With you.
It sure has. So I'm like, wait, this is the time. Yeah. So you're so right about that.
Full circle though.
Yeah,
and it's
really
that thing
is.
of like trusting that you can't miss.
Yeah.
Like if it's meant to be, it'll happen. Mm-hmm. If you keep the core of who you are alive.
Yep.
And I think that's a thread between both of us and a lot of our friends is like, no matter what we're up to in the world, I think the thing we're always aiming for is like, am I authentically me right now? And can I like hang my hat on that at the end of the day? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's always been a part of your core of like, I want to do this thing. Maybe it's not time. Maybe I've got this black mold thing. Maybe I just had a kid. Okay, pause.
Yep.
But when it's time, it's like, oh, but it's still here. Mm-hmm. Remember this? And you're like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, because how long, I mean, I've been talking, I'm like, I feel like I've talked about the I Am brand ad nauseum with my friends. I'm like, oh, I really kind of want to create this, but now I'm actually doing it.
And doing it so fast.
Yeah.
Like the resistance isn't present.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Like, I got this prototype and I'm doing this and I'm working with this person. I'm good. And it's like, okay, she's on, she's going.
It's because with conviction, I finally said, now is the time. And I know that you've also experienced this so many times that once you make a decision from conviction, how easily things just pop up and show up. And then what you're creating with your skincare line. Yes. I mean, let's talk about that for a second, because that's also a creation. I cannot wait to try these products.
It's so good. It's so good. So yeah, it's called House of Zahara, which Zahara is my daughter's name. And it's a love letter to her, really, and to women everywhere, because I think as women, we kind of grow up in this soup of, you're not good enough if you're not pretty enough, if you're not young enough, if you don't look like this and this and this. And we have grown up to essentially hate ourselves and punish ourselves, and then buy products from that self-hate of like, oh, maybe this product will make me hate myself less. And so House of Zahara is all about beautiful natural products that actually work. We're longevity focused. So we're looking at the health of the cell of your skin rather than like making the surface look better. We're going to get to the source of what affects and impacts the surface. So we're using all this longevity science, but healthy, natural, non-toxic stuff. Because when I got pregnant with Kingston, I didn't realize like 95% of all my stuff was toxic.
I know, girl. It's so crazy.
And then so I just started making concoctions in my bathroom, like this oil and this and this. And, it's kind of grown over the years, and I've tried all these different things. And so many people ask me for my concoctions. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Like, because the amount of times I literally have a note that I just send out to people. Then you mix this with this, and then you put this with this, and you get your tallow from here. And I'm like, I'm just going to make this. Let's just see. And so it's been really fun because I'm working with a chemist, and I've done, multiple formulas, and I want to get the formula perfect. And so I get to bring like my love of detail and aesthetic and feel.
I know that you're going to crush the packaging, because you and I both are so obsessed with the whole unboxing, the whole experience. Same. So I know that I cannot wait to do an unboxing, like a whole unboxing with your stuff.
And even that, like I'm looking at packaging and like, where, like what plastics are used in the packaging, and can we get all plastics out? And so I'm using glass bottles and like just everything, like attention to detail is everything. And so that's a whole other piece to really like teach women and young girls, like take care of the skin, just like our bodies, right? We're taught to hate our bodies and fix our bodies rather than like care for our bodies. This is our temple. Our skin is our largest organ.
And people don't think about that.
How are we not, like, one, being so cautious about what we put on it?
And even the water that we bathe in just absorbs all of the fluoride and the chlorine, all the chemicals, everything. It's just so important to be super present to that. And so I love that you're bringing forth your values, because I know that health, longevity, biohacking, all that is so important to you too, because we're both on this whole peptide kick. We're like all the peptides. And you're bringing in all of that. You're bringing and creating packaging that is not going to bring any kind of harm to the planet. Like, you're being so conscious about that. It's you're bringing in this whole comprehensive concept that is for the betterment of people and the planet, and it's just from the inside out, which is, again, that is you living your purpose, and you're putting into a product because you're here to transform people. So you're also doing it from the inside out, which you do that with your somatic work and the embodiment work and all of that. I'm going to transform you from the inside out. And also, you can have an intangible product too. Yeah. I think that's great.
Which I've been like, I love products, right? I'm such a stickler for what I buy. And I've always been so averse to getting into products because of the waste. Like, I'm always like, oh my God, the amount of bags and boxes that stuff comes in.
The Amazon boxes, the packaging. I know. Like, it pings my heart every day. I'm like, so many boxes.
I'm like, it's so much.
I know. It's so much.
And so I'm like, do I like clothing? I love fashion. I love clothing. But I'm like, do I want to be a part of the problem that is poisoning our water systems? Like, I think about the whole thing. It's like my gift and my curse. I think about everything. I think about the whole picture. And so when I really thought about skincare, I'm like, okay, I love good skincare, and I think skincare has been sold to us in a way that we need 12 different things. It's like, what if we can simplify even our skincare and less equals more, and really pack these products with potency and like really make them beautiful so your skin is happy and it wants to work with you as we age. And as we age gracefully, our skin can be like, oh yeah, girl, let's go. Like at the cellular level, I feel full, I feel healthy, I feel tended to.
I already know that me having this product in my hand, because you and I are just so sensitive to energy. And you know, like when you hold a product in your hand, you're either like, ooh, this feels really good, or like, ooh, this doesn't feel so good. But I already know that having that product in my hand is going to feel so good. And because of your intention and the energy that you're embodying as you're creating this whole thing is going to be so alive in these products. So
we are, like, when I tell you, we are that couple, because Preston's helping me with this, but we're that couple where we are literally working with our manufacturer to put on specific music while they're packing our product.
Yes, to that.
Because the energetics matter. Like, I do all this study and field work in the field around all sorts of alive energies, whether it be an alive body or even a camera or a cord or this glass of water. Like, everything holds energy. And why not be intentional with the energy when packing the product?
It's so Virgo of you. It's it's so good.
And it's like, it's not, people will be like, oh my God, that's so woo-woo. It's not woo-woo.
No, it's not. It is science. Like, exactly. It's physics. It's literal physics.
And that's like the work I do, is I work with the field of individuals who are electric beings. So I'm working with your electrical field. Why would I not work with the electrical field of this product?
Exactly that.
Everything has a field.
It's so good.
And so I'm like, well, let's make this field sparkle, baby.
I love that you're doing this with Preston. It's so cool. And because he's also on a super health kick, and he's working out, and he's, you know.
You guys are in like the workout thing together. They all work out at the same place.
It's so fun. It's so fun. It's just been watching him he's really putting his health as a number one focus. And so it makes sense for him to also be super all in on creating this product with you. And I love that you're co-creating it together. I mean, you guys have created so much together already.
We're so good together.
You guys supplement each other really, really well.
We really do. We're so different. And that makes us so complementary. You know, it's like we are so different. Anyone that knows us really well is like, wow, you two are wildly different. And it's like, what I don't have, he has in spades, and what he doesn't have, I have in spades.
Sure.
And I think part of the magic of Preston and I relationally is that we came here to co-create beings together, businesses together, ideas, concepts, you know, new techniques in the somatic world. Like, we're co-creators, and that's what makes our marriage really thrive, is knowing that, right? I think sometimes people don't necessarily understand why they come together with someone, but Preston and I were so clear when we first met, like, oh, we are meant to birth some stuff together.
And how you guys came together, the story of that is a whole other podcast in and of itself.
It is.
And just the magic of you two coming together, and then all the forces that have tried to get in the way of your relationship. And it's like, how many times have you guys said, not today, Satan? We are
Not today.
We are not. And just you've really doubled down on your vows and the promise that you gave to each other, because it's like, as you know, marriages it can be literally some of the toughest work, and
the best workshop on the planet.
That I was talking about this on the episode with Jen, how it's just the marriage, the commitment to be with somebody for the entirety of life means you get to reinvent your relationship countless times, because we're never the same people twice. Like I'm not the same woman that Brad married, and he's definitely not the same man that I married. And so it's just really beautiful, because obviously I've had a front row seat to all the things of what you guys have created together. And I remember the post. It was either maybe you both posted it, but the announcement that you two were together. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was on Instagram. I was like, that's official. I like it. It's so good. But just, it's just been really beautiful to watch you recommit to each other.
Yeah.
And despite the challenge and judgments from people and like whatever, because I mean, that's stuff that Brad and I also have experienced as well. And Brad and I have said maybe divorce is the best option.
Oh, same. Preston and I have been there many times.
Sure.
And I think, I honestly don't think it's a real marriage unless you get to that point of like, do I really choose in again?
Yeah.
Because as you say, you go through these different seasons, and yes, we're committed to another person for our entire lives, but it also means you have to be really, truly committed to yourself.
That's right.
Am I listening to myself? Am I really clear about what I need? Am I voicing those needs with my partner? Am I able to voice it in a way that they can hear it? Are we having conversations about this? Do we have intimacy around this? There are so many things. And Preston and I have hit that point many times where it's like, hey, maybe we just work together and we don't do this thing together. But ultimately, those moments that almost broke us brought us closer.
Absolutely that.
And I mean, there were moments that literally almost broke us where we were like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
And like the old me would have been like, I'm out.
Yeah, because and then we fantasize about, there's got to be somebody else out there who can love me in the way that I like to be loved. I mean, listen, it's like the partners that we choose they push all of our buttons. They challenge us, and then we push all of their buttons. But that's the balance, because we ultimately wind up with a person who's opposite of who we are to create that balance and also to create that initiation for us day to day. And so I see a lot of similarities, obviously. Like you and Brad are kind of similar in some ways, and Preston and I are very similar because we're both like full-on promoters and like everything all the time. This is the best of everything. But it's just really cool to witness that balance and then the recommitment over and over again. And Brad and I have had this conversation too. It's like, man, everything that matters to us is built upon the relationship that we have. Like if our relationship crumbles, everything that matters to us also will crumble.
Yep.
And that's again a whole other podcast in and of itself. We'll probably do this again. I just want to say this was so juicy. This was such a fun chat with you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And we must do this again. I just want to say thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for supporting me.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, babe.
You're doing it. And like you said, like whether it's for permission for other people or permission for yourself, or just to honor this muse that's coming through, that's like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And like life is about like, we're creative beings.
That's right.
So yes.
So I love to see you claiming I am an artist. I mean, that's something that you're so stepping into, and we're doing it together. And it's just, I'm excited for 2026 to unfold. And I love you so much. And it's an honor to be your daughter's godmother. Yeah. And then also you're the godmother to my son, Mr. Jet. And this is just a very exciting time to be alive with you in this lifetime. It's just so fun. And I, of course, want everybody to stalk you and follow you. And where can people find you? Where can they find out everything they want to know about you?
Yeah, Alexi Panos pretty much everywhere. I'm not consistent on any platforms, but I do have a podcast called Woman that I tend to be consistent on there. I do share on Instagram, alexipanos.com, bridgeexperience.com. Check me out. I'm doing lots of stuff. I'm sure I'll update all the pages when everything is ready.
Yes.
But yeah, if there's one thing like I want people to get from this is don't wait for permission for you to take that leap. Like if something's calling you, trust the call. To me, the call is something greater than us. It's this force that knows more than we know. That's like, trust me, baby, I got you. But you got to listen. And we're like, no. That doesn't make sense. It's like, trust me, baby, I got you, but you got to listen. It's like, are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't think so. You're holding on, gripping on for dear life.
Holding on for dear life. Oh my God.
But honestly, every time I've heeded that call and I've listened, it's brought me to these beautiful chapters of my life that have all led me to this chapter. And this chapter is going to lead me to the next one. And we have to be a yes to the chapters that are unfolding. And I think a lot of us, self included, have been in resistance to those chapters because it doesn't fit into the idea that we thought our life was supposed to take.
And that's the beauty of life is being fully self-expressed and discovering our actual authentic I am and giving ourselves permission to trust that. So yes. Oh my gosh. So good. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks, babe.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching, for listening, for being a part of this conversation. Make sure that you follow Alexi everywhere, stalk her, buy all her products, do all the things. And I just cannot wait to see you for the next conversation I'm going to be having with her Mr. Husband, Preston Smiles. That's coming up. It's the next episode you can watch for. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being a part of this journey. And don't ever forget that you're already ready to create everything that you want. You just get to give yourself permission. See you again soon.